Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and welcome to another in this series of Modern Warfare 2 weapons guides. In this video, we are taking a look at the first available SMG, the MP5K. The MP5K is a fully automatic weapon, as with all of the submachine guns. It's a shorter version of the more familiar MP5, as manufactured by German company Heckler and Koch. The MP5K is a shortened version of the MP5A2 variant. It was introduced in 1976. As with most of the MP5 family, it fires the familiar 9x19mm parabellum cartridge, as per the NATO standard for handguns and submachine guns. The iron sights are the usual rotary drum rear with front hooded post, as seen on the full-size MP5. In-game, the MP5K has a fast rate of fire and deals high damage up close. The fact that it's an SMG means you get the mobility benefit of a lightweight weapon too. However, the lightweight of the weapon means felt recoil is significant. Coupled with a large drop-off in damage at range, this means the MP5K cannot compete at longer distances. If you try and use the MP5K in a run-and-gun style as a lone wolf, you will find yourself being picked off by assault rifles, snipers, and LMGs time and time again. You need to get close to your enemy for the MP5K to be effective, and it's up close where you can really be devastating with this weapon. There are a few different tactics that can work. The MP5K does high damage within optimum distance, so even with cold-blooded you can still kill quickly. The MP5K is a fine SMG to use silenced. The high mobility of the SMGs means that a rush or a flanking style class can be used too. Although I have found it was hard to attain higher kill streaks, you can break into their spawn from either the rear or via the flank, and clear out a locked down area. The most effective strategy I have found was to use the SMGs in a support role in team games. While this may not have the glamour of being the lone wolf type, it was very effective and landed me the highest KDR in the game consistently, and very often the highest number of kills too. In essence, what you must do is stay in formation with one or more team member who is using an assault rifle. They will suppress enemies at long range and be very effective at middle ranges. With your MP5K, you will fill the continuum of force for the assault rifle player. You will be quicker and deadlier than the assault rifle at close range, and be able to provide support during reloads. Move as a group and push through the enemy. If your assault rifle guy is any good, you won't have to worry about long-range attacks. It is prudent to stay in cover where possible and avoid being sniped. Providing such support, you enhance both their survivability and your own. This force multiplication will mean you both are able to get higher kill streaks, and ultimately will destroy your opposition. You might think you are cannibalizing kills from your teammate, but it's very common for a lone wolf guy to get flanked or killed from behind. If you're there unexpectedly, you'll have the upper hand, will score an easy kill, and better yet, you'll keep your teammate alive. Obviously, you need to find a reasonably good teammate to shadow. If they're camping or not using an assault rifle, it would be best to find someone else, even if that means pushing on alone. As usual with the close-quarter weapons, if you find yourself without support, ensure you stick to cover and to the interior of buildings where possible. If you're in the open, you are a likely target for a sniper or an assault rifle. The attachments available for the SMGs are similar to those available for the assault rifles. Instead of the underslung grenade launcher and the shotguns, you have Akimbo and rapid fire, and the heartbeat sensor is not available. The sights available are the same. The iron sights are perfectly fine for most ranges. If you have FMJ or extended magazines unlocked, those are better choices, but the sights work perfectly well and do help slightly at range. The red dot sight is as expected, boosting your aim speed at longer ranges. Although bear in mind that the recoil of the MP5K will probably mean your shots will miss after the first anyway. The holographic is much the same as the red dot. There may be a subtle difference in felt recoil, but nothing I noticed during play. The Acog Scope is available, but it's terrible. don't use it unless you're going for the Mastery Challenge, and if you do, expect to come to hate it. In Hardcore, it might be better, but kills at range with the MP5K take at least 4 hits, even with stopping power, and the recoil makes that near impossible. The same applies for the thermal scope. There's no reason to use it, so don't. The MP5K is a very quick firing weapon, and adding rapid fire decreases the time to kill even further. Of course, you'll probably find the recoil to be even less controllable, and the magazines will feel even shorter, but rapid fire is deadly up close. Upon the completion of the rapid fire challenge, you will unlock the Akimbo Attachment. Double the shots mean half the time to kill, if all shots connect. Akimbo isn't bad with the MP5K. You're limited to short ranges anyway, so Akimbo doesn't hamper you too much. Although you probably will waste a lot of ammunition. Couple Akimbo with rapid fire via bling and you'll have a pair of unstoppable bullet hoses up close. I won a few free-for-all matches with this setup, although you have to be careful to avoid being taken out at long range. The silencer is great for a stealth class, but I would advise against putting it on unless you absolutely need it. For a support role, you don't need to go silent, as it's unlikely all your teammates will be silenced as well. And unless you fire at the same time as your teammate, you will just appear as a single dot where there are 2 of you. If you're stuck for a choice, just put the red dot or the holographic sight on. The silencer will reduce your range and the damage you can do, which may not be beneficial. FMJ is a good attachment as it eliminates the effectiveness of thin cover for your opponent, which will end up scoring you a couple of kills where before you may have missed. Better yet, completing the FMJ challenge will unlock the extended magazines attachment, which is definitely a good attachment to have. 45 rounds helps a lot when you consider the high rate of fire. Extended mags would be well paired with Scavenger, as reloads are less problematic with the larger magazine. In Core, stopping power is a must. Although damage up close is very high, this drops off quickly at range. Without stopping power, at the end of your effective range, an assault rifle user may be able to get the better of you. So I'd recommend it when using the SMG as support for an assault team. My favourite blue perk was Sleight of Hand. Scavenger would also be a fine choice, but I missed the improved reload speed. If you carry a pistol or another fast-drawing secondary, the M93 Raffica is a very good alternative to a pistol. You won't need Scavenger, as your secondary weapon can serve as a backup until you find another weapon on the ground. In your last perk slot, Ninja is still a nice perk to use, certainly if you plan on playing as a stealth class. But if you're using the MP5K in a support role, Ninja is less necessary. Steady aim can work effectively, as the hip spread on the MP5K is very narrow. With Akimbo, it's definitely the best choice. The MP5K doesn't see much use currently in multiplayer, as the UMP45 seems to be the far more popular SMG choice. Where the UMP45 has better long-range capability, the MP5K is faster firing and deadly up close. It will trump even the L86 in time to kill at close range with stopping power. Rapid fire makes it even quicker. Teamwork is probably one thing that's missing in public games, which is why the MP5K has fallen out of favour. It's a support weapon at heart, and one that requires someone else to handle long-range engagements. It's a versatile weapon, it's just that it doesn't fit the normal style of play for those used to assault rifles. It can be a weapon suited to an objective rush, for the stealthy player attacking the enemy's flank, or as a close-quarters assault weapon. I certainly didn't like it when I first tried it, but once I realised the value of using it in a support role, the MP5K, and the rest of the SMGs in fact, became a solid choice in my arsenal. It might take some practice to get out of the habit of directly assaulting the enemy, but once you get used to avoiding long-range engagements and expecting close-range assailants on your teammates, you can start racking up the kills with this weapon. This has been Xbox Ahoy, and that means we've reached the end of this video. Join me next time when I'll be looking at another weapon, which will in fact be the 84HS from the launcher category. Until then, farewell.